G'day everyone, Anattack 76 here with some definitions I hope will make it for you to see that gender theory, comprehensive sexuality education, and the ability to teach safe schools, if a teacher or school should so desire it, is written into the national curriculum. This is something numerous people have tried to tell us, from the researchers and politicians associated with ACL and other political parties, and different citizen activists and groups who try to spread the word about different aspects of gender theory or comprehensive sexuality education that might be popping up here and there. We've seen a number of bait and switch games and a number of other underhanded tricks and bits of propaganda, from their attempt to simply remove Ros Ward from the program to New South Wales saying it had removed the program only to put it back in under a different name. Something I'd like you to keep in mind as we read these definitions is contextual ambiguity, having more than one meaning in the language to which the word or phrase belongs. Examples are safe schools, respectful relationships, and catching on early, all of which are more than their names imply to the average reader or listener. So we are going to look at some of the definitions that you will find on the ACARA Australian Curriculum website in the Physical Education and Health Curriculum. Another time perhaps we'll have a look at the different learning areas and where some of these things come in. But for now, we're just going to hopefully demonstrate that you can teach gender theory and comprehensive sexuality education under the national curriculum definitions. They've used italics on some of the words you might want to pay attention to. However, this was done by ACARA, not by me, so there's other things in there as well. Let's see how we go. A is for advocate, to argue in support of a cause or position, or speak out on behalf of yourself or another to ensure that your or others' interests are taken into account. Analyze, to examine and break down information into parts, make inferences and find evidence to support generalizations, to find meaning or relationships and identify patterns, similarities and differences. Border crossing, negotiating ways of moving between different cultures or between a marginalized and dominant culture. Critical inquiry approach, to question the social, cultural and political factors that influence health and well-being. This involves critical analysis and critical evaluation of health and physical activity knowledge to make informed judgments and take appropriate individual and collective action. Students explore matters such as inclusiveness, power inequalities, assumptions, diversity and social justice, and develop strategies to improve their own and others' health and well-being. Discrimination, an unjust or prejudicial treatment of someone. The types of discrimination that students must learn about include racial, levels of ability, sex and gender discrimination, homophobia, and transphobia. Diversity, differences that exist within a group including age, sex, gender, gender expression, sexuality, ethnicity, ability, body shape and composition, culture, religion, learning styles, socio-economic background, values and experience. Appreciating, understanding and respecting diversity impacts on an individual's sense of self and their relations to others. Diversity can be acknowledged through shared activities that may involve building knowledge and awareness, peer teaching, games, dance, food and festivals. Gender refers to the concepts of male and female, as well as the socially constructed expectations about what is acceptable for males and females, including behaviour, dress and interests. These expectations vary across history and different cultures. Legally, there are more than two genders, and a person may identify as male, female, neither male nor female, or both. Gender diverse, a broad term that includes people who may identify as transgender, non-binary, or who feel that their gender identity does not align with the sex assigned to them at birth and/or society's expectations. A person may identify as male, female, neither, or both. Gender identity refers to a person's sense of being masculine or feminine, both or neither, and how they identify. Gender identity does not necessarily relate to the sex assigned at birth. Harm minimization, a strategy that aims to lower the risks and harmful consequences associated with drug use and other high-risk behaviours, rather than simply promoting abstinence. Health, a state of complete physical, social, emotional, mental and spiritual well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. This includes the ability to lead a socially and economically productive life. Health literacy, an ability to selectively access and critically analyse information, navigate community services and resources, and take action to promote personal health and the health of others. This includes online information and websites, as well as information from friends, family, and health professionals. Health literacy has 3 dimensions: functional, interactive, and critical. Health messages, any message or advertising related to the health and well-being of people. These can be in the form of TV or magazine advertisements, media articles, product labelling, portrayal of healthy choices in media, or messages from family and peer groups. Identify, to recognise or name someone or something. Identities, individual characteristics including thoughts, ideas, feelings and attitudes towards self, and capabilities of a person or characteristics of a social group. Identity refers to all things that define who we are at any given moment in our lives. It is not static. We construct our identities according to things such as where we come from, what we believe in, who we relate to, how we belong, how we behave, and what we do. Intersex relates to a range of innate biological traits or variations away from conventional ideas of male and female. An intersex person may have a combination of biological attributes of both sexes or lack some of the biological attributes considered necessary to be defined as one or the other sex. Intersex is always congenital and can originate from genetic, chromosomal, or hormonal variations. Most intersex people identify as male or female. Same-sex attracted. A term used to describe someone who is physically, emotionally, sexually, or spiritually attracted to a person of the same sex. They may or may not be attracted to people of other genders, and may or may not identify as gay, lesbian, or bisexual. Sense of place. A physical, social, emotional, and/or spiritual connection to a place that shapes personal and social identities, perspectives, and interactions. Sense of self. An individual's perception of self and how they perceive their place in the world in relation to a range of personal characteristics and cultural norms and expectations. Sexual health. A state of physical, mental, and social well-being in relation to sexuality. It requires a positive and respectful approach to sexuality and sexual relationships, as well as a possibility of having pleasurable and safe sexual experiences free of coercion, discrimination, and violence. Sexuality. A central aspect of being human throughout life. It is influenced by an interaction of biological, psychological, social, economic, political, cultural, ethical, legal, historical, religious, and spiritual factors. It is experienced and expressed in thoughts, feelings, desires, beliefs, attitudes, values, behaviours, practices, roles, and relationships. Social health, an ability to form satisfying interpersonal relationships with others. It also relates to an ability to adapt comfortably to different social situations, social institutions, social values and norms, and act appropriately in a variety of settings. This requires strong communication skills, empathy for others, and a sense of accountability. Spiritual health, a positive sense of belonging, meaning, and purpose in life. It includes values and beliefs that influence the way people live, and can be influenced by an individual's connection to themselves, others, nature, and beyond. Strength-based approach focuses on capacities, competencies, values, and hopes of all students, regardless of their current circumstances, to optimize their own health and that of others. It looks to extend preventative health to the creation of health through individual, community, and societal resources and assets. Transgender. Most commonly, the term is used by those whose gender identity is different from the sex assigned to them at birth. Transitions. Internal processes or psychological reorientation people experience as a result of change, and usually involves establishing new behaviours or new ways of thinking before the change can work. Individuals experience transitions in different ways and at different rates. Transition involves 3 stages: a letting go of the way things are or used to be, a period of exploration and adjustment, and a final stage where new behaviours and ways of working evolve. Transphobia. A fear or hatred of transgender people. Transphobia is manifested in a number of ways, including violence, harassment, and discrimination. And our final word, well-being. A sense of satisfaction, happiness, effective social functioning, and spiritual health, and dispositions of optimism, openness, curiosity, and resilience. Wellbeing's a good one to end on because it's a buzzword you'll find a lot in the teaching resources and in material that they are handing out. And propaganda you'll see on television, these people on the news and things like that when they're pushing these programs and ideas for children to learn. So I do hope I've picked enough out there for you to maybe go and have a look at the ACARA site yourself for your child's year group. It's easy enough to navigate, although they've changed it around again recently. Just pick a learning objective out of the start of your health and PE curriculum and look at the code for the learning objectives and go and check a few of them out. It won't take you long to come across some of the stuff that we've been talking about, because it's not just Safe Schools. There's a whole suite of materials out there from different organisations, out of different unis, based off different things, although you'll find, as we keep saying, it all goes back to the same material from the UN, WHO, and things like that. So anyway, once again, thanks for joining me and thanks for listening.